Our next speaker actually comes from a sort of a totally different industry, which I think illustrates the variety of the sort of challenges and the sorts of businesses that we're in. So I'm going to welcome on stage in a moment Jones Lukose. He's actually the Information Management Officer at the International Criminal Court. And he's a senior information management practitioner with more than 18 years of national and international experience. And I think, as he says, his job basically is to try and persuade lawyers and judges to use technology, which sounds like an amazing challenge. But anyway, I'll hand over to Jones and welcome him onto stage.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hi. My names are Jones Lukose from the International Criminal Court, and I do come in peace. I can prove it. I even came with a box guitar, so I can prove it that I came in peace. I can also prove it. I will tell you something small about myself. I come from Kenya. Kenya is in East Africa. I have 2 children and 1 wife. Where we come from is very important to say it because often people have several. I don't know how they manage. But today I'm going to tell you a story about what I do at the International Criminal Court. I will tell it in form of a tale of 3 buttons. But before I go into it, I'll play a small video. And in that video, you'll get a context of what the ICC, the International Criminal Court, is all about. And then from there, I will come and tell you the story. Watch the video.
Yeah, empty again. And the empty chop and they come back again. I chop again and not take a pala.
Oh, everyone come here. Look, there's something.
An artifact, carefully recovered from the field, is dispatched securely to The Hague. The images are captured electronically from every angle and stored in the database created for the case. Documents of all kinds, whatever condition they happen to be in, are also digitized. Each and every pertinent document is scanned and then stored for immediate recovery whenever they are needed. The number of documents in a case might number in the hundreds of thousands, but they're all instantly available. Though the ICC storeroom looks to be very empty, the fact is that all documents are electronically available. The court's technology serves to make proceedings move faster and increase the quality of justice for all those involved in a very cost-effective way. Each image, whether it's of a piece of paper or a weapon, can be examined in detail, or even put together to create a 3D view of the artifact. The court is the first of its kind in the world. Not only is its remit unique, but the way it operates is unique too. It is the world's first completely electronic court. Witnesses who cannot attend the court can give their testimony live on screen from wherever they are. This enables either those who can't travel or those who are afraid to appear in person the chance to testify. The court can also mask the face of the witness or distort their voice so as to protect their identity. There is a 30-minute delay for all images that leave the building, which protects the integrity of witnesses and the evidence itself. If any changes need to be made to the content of the broadcast, then it can be done quickly so as not to compromise a case or someone's safety. The technology also saves time when it comes to differing levels of access authorization. So, if a document contains material that cannot be seen by certain individuals or groups, it can be electronically redacted. And as those professionals with higher levels of authorization access the document, the redaction is reduced accordingly. By using a range of technology, the court ensures that it can do its job quickly, efficiently, securely and transparently. It can evolve as new methods appear, and that means the ICC is completely scalable and flexible. New capacity can be added as when it's needed, and new technology integrated into its operations with ease. The scalability of the court is vital, as it assures all those who rely on it that their need for justice will always be served. The International Criminal Court is working with a community of state parties to send out a strong message that if anyone commits a crime against humanity, a court exists that can bring them to justice.
I still do stand here in peace, so be at ease. There was a study recently that tested the highest cause of heart attacks in the office environment. What do you think they found? What do you think was the highest cause of heart attacks? Anyone? Yes? Stress. Fantastic. One more? Broken computer. Yeah, that's it. Somebody said coffee also, isn't it? Coffee. A lot of coffee. Others said sitting down for too long. Guess what the study found? The study found that the highest cause of heart attacks in the office environment is the prevalence of idiots around you. So today I promise I will not be that idiot. IT has got a way in which it transforms a human being to an idiot. When I joined the court, 2005, December 2005, it was on the 19th, a cold winter at that time. I was given the opportunity in the induction period to go around and meet the senior managers. And as I went around, we had an opportunity. I had a colleague of mine who was taking me around. So we went to see the judges. And when we entered in the corridor, the first door on my right was slightly ajar. So I thought, this is interesting. Do we knock? Do we just walk in? What is the culture here? So I knocked, and there was no reply. My colleague said, perhaps the judge is not in. So I said, okay, no, let's try and peep and see. So I peeped, and I could see that there was a shadow seated by the table next to a computer, very still, very still. And I could recognize that the shape of a human being, but it was still, not moving. There was a book on the laps. And I whispered, I said, perhaps the judge is asleep. Let's go back and come back another time. Little did he know that the judge could hear us, and he had sensed us. So he said, Jones, come in. I'm expecting you. Wow, to my surprise. I walked in, and together with a colleague, we sat down. On his table was a beautifully wrapped computer. Anyone remember those days when computers were wrapped on the table with some cover? Do you still do that? You don't do that anymore. You can't remember whether that happens. Yeah. Perhaps for the older ones, you can remember that, yeah, you could have a computer wrapped up. When you finish working with it, you cover it again as you leave the office. Now, this judge's computer was completely wrapped up. There was a flower vase on top of it. So I asked the judge, Judge, why is your computer wrapped up? He said, that's the reason why I wanted to see you. I thought, oops, here I am, an information manager, called in to solve a hardware problem. I thought to myself, what is going on here? But let me listen. So the judge said that I have a problem with this computer. Each time I open it, there are too many things on the screen. Too many things on the screen. So I asked the judge, what would you like to see? And the judge calmly said, I would like to see only 3 buttons on the screen. 3 buttons. I have never seen a computer at that time with only 3 buttons. My colleague definitely had never seen such a computer. And he was open. He came out openly and told the judge, Judge, this computer is a standard computer. We give this kind of computer to every staff. It has all the tools that you need to do your work. I stepped on the guy's foot and squashed it, telling him, shut up. It was a sign, shut up. The judge is speaking. Let's hear what he has to say. I applied pressure just enough so that he loses breath and doesn't scream, you know. And the judge said, on this computer, I only like to see 3 buttons. The first button, what do you think? There's some clues on the screen. What do you think? What was the first button? Any guess? Save. Yeah. Fantastic. You must be a judge. Save was the first button. What do you think was the second button? Guilty. Guilty. Another try. The judge said, when I save something, I want to be able to do what? To find it back. So he wants another button that can search in his area. And the third one, what was the final one? Delete. No, they're really paranoid about deleting. He said the third one, he wanted a button that will allow him to share. You've seen in the video, when they sit in the courtroom, there's a bench of several judges. And these judges, each one of them have teams. So they want to be able to collaborate amongst themselves secretly without other people noticing. So he wants another button that allows him specifically to share his materials, his opinions with his fellow judges. And that was a story that started my life at the International Criminal Court. My first day, I have an impossible assignment. I asked the judge, I've just arrived. Give me a few moments to digest what you have said. We will come back to you with a plan. Guess what? That judge ended up being the champion of IT and information management in the court for the next 5 years. We could collaborate, and each time I could tell him, okay, this is where we have reached. In those 3 buttons, developed 3 concepts that govern how the information in the criminal court is organized. The first one is a focus of where we receive all the information that comes from all over the world in different formats, preserving it securely. The second focus is allowing the parties, the judges, and their teams to effectively collaborate, to effectively value, discuss, the material in active court session and come up with decisions. So this information contains value that is important for the court and for the public. And here, our biggest focus was on two things: trust and intuition. The tools that we allow to use in the court were such a way that they allowed people to trust amongst themselves, the judges to trust the lawyers to trust the court reporters, the investigators, and so on. A trust mechanism. And of course, intuition, to allow the professionals to feel also their way through their work and get inspired. And the last area of focus, a very important one. All this material that we gain and collect, servers, hard disks, flash disks, information from the social media, all of it is for a purpose. It could be for investigation, it could be for a judicial activity. It has to go back to the public in form of a judicial decision, in form of videos of activities in the courtroom, in form of the voices of victims and witnesses speaking in court. And guess what? Every court session, within 30 minutes, has to be publicized to the public. Despite all the security considerations we put in place, we allow 30 minutes to cross-check, to make sure that all the information that is going out is properly redacted in such a way that it is safe for public consumption and safe in such a way that witnesses and victims are not victimized or harassed out there in the public. So the whole idea of orchestration arrived. And one of my biggest jobs is to orchestrate, to allow this flow of information from the field to the courtroom, through the activities of the court, and back out to the public within how many minutes? 30 minutes. That's a big task. Can you do that with paper, with a paper process? I know only one Dutch word, nee. Paper process is impossible. You cannot redact thousands of papers, records, and have them available even within 24 hours. And that is the strategy, that is the vision that we have. We want to be a court that is there to provide service to the public in a timely and efficient way. Now, to end, I will tell you how I got inspired to join this field. Now, you're going to ask me why. What has the guitar got to do with the International Criminal Court? Without this guitar, I would not be at the ICC. Because in 1973, there was a classic by a musician called Fadhili Williams. It was called Malaika. It was a love song. When I sang this song to my wife, you know what she told me? Go to information management. That is where you belong. So the song goes. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Malaika, nakupenda malaika. Nami nifanyeje, kijana mwenzio. Nashindwa na mali sina wewe, ningekuoa malaika. Nashindwa na mali sina wewe, ningekuoa malaika. nashindwa na mali sina we, ningekuoa malaika. And that's my story.
Thanks, Jones. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you very much.
DVDs.
I don't intend to be an idiot. Okay, let me come back.
DVDs and
Yes.
CDs available at the end.
Indeed.
Selfie photos, signed autographs.
Indeed.
Who knew? So you started going to information management. Okay, so I was just blown away by the content velocity of your business. 30 minutes to get all that content up onto public access. I mean, that's just phenomenal. And I think there's very few commercial businesses that can do that sort of scale of thing. But one of the themes I've seen through the day is a lot of this change is technology enabled, but it's also cultural, and it's also about changing mindsets. So I know we were chatting last night actually, and you were saying a lot of what you've had to do is a long, slow process of changing minds, like that judge you gave the first example for. So how do you do that? I mean, how do you get people to change their minds? How do you get them to come on board with what you want? And what are the tips or the little tricks that you have you might be able to share with the audience?
Right. The International Criminal Court is a complex organization. It has prosecutors, it has defense lawyers, it has judges, it has also registry staff, and people that do specialized work, translators, interpreters, and so on. Now, guess what? These parties are autonomous. So, the defense lawyer cannot come and tell the prosecutor what to do. The prosecutor cannot tell the defense lawyer what to do. Of course, in court, the judges can rule. But the judges cannot receive instructions from the parties. So you see, it's a very complex environment. It took us quite a while to convince, even implement simple things like a common database. Said, no, the investigation teams cannot share the same database as the defense, and they give you all sorts of reasons why. I wasn't a lawyer, but I allowed all these things to get into my head. At the end of the day, I realized one thing, that spending time building trust between the parties was fundamental. Fundamental. And every tool that we used was evaluated based on its ability to facilitate trust amongst human beings. And that was our number one force that we use. It took us about 2 years to have a common database.
Yeah. These things can't be done overnight. It's about changing mindsets and building trust. Okay, well, thank you very much, and thank you for the song.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jones.
Thank you.